I'm Kendra Cook, your host for the DCTV Daily News program out of Dove Creek, Colorado. The Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest Colorado TV Translator Association. That's the Special District Association responsible for bringing the area free-to-access TV stations over the air by antenna. This is a community TV station. If there's a news story or event information that you would like to share, you can do that by calling us and leaving a message at 970-677-4119 or email dcbnnews@gmail.com. And if you're a business or organization, we welcome you to find out about sponsorship opportunities for banners or video segments run on the channel. This is the Tuesday program for May 26, 2020. DCTV Daily News. You may already have heard over the weekend. On Saturday, the Dolores County request for variance was approved by the state, which included a more extensive graduation ceremony plan and allowing the restaurants to reopen for seating at 50% or 50 capacity with a lot of additional guidance and operations. To that end, word from the state line is that they plan to open around June 4th or 5th, and the DC Rack House will planning to open for indoor seating next Monday, June 1st, and have added additional exterior seating over this past weekend as well. Please be supportive and patient with these establishments as they work through the new reopening process. All businesses are important links within our community, and we all look forward to the next phase of reopening the community while maintaining our overall health. Over in Durango, restaurants also can reopen on Wednesday. The whole state can by state order. But will they? The Durango Herald reports that Durango restaurants can reopen for dine-in services Wednesday. Governor Jared Polis announced Monday that all restaurants across the state can reopen after being closed for more than 2 months to in-person dining, so long as they follow a number of guidelines aimed at slowing the spread of the coronavirus, which is the same under our variants in Dolores County. Up until now, restaurants have been able to offer only curbside pickup and delivery. Coloradans value our diverse culinary scene and amazing restaurants, and I'm proud that our state is now providing science-based guidelines on how restaurants can open as safely as reasonably possible for their employees and customers, Polis said in his statement. Quote, "The safest thing anyone can do is stay home whenever possible. But for those who want to shop and dine, we want to make sure it can be done as safely as possible." The state's requirements for restaurant operation include restaurants must limit the number of customers to 50% of capacity and not exceed 50 people. Groups will be limited to a maximum of 8 people. Tables must be spaced 6 feet apart. Staff members must wear face coverings. Disposable menus must be used. Restrooms will be cleaned every hour, or must be. Monday's announcement, which came on a federal holiday, left local health officials scrambling to prepare for restaurants to reopen on Wednesday. Leanne Jolin, executive director of San Juan Basin Public Health, said that the agency doesn't expect to make adjustments to the state guidelines, but it will be difficult to educate restaurants on such short notice if they want to reopen on Wednesday. To prepare for retail stores to reopen, SJBPH created a self-certification process to help owners understand all of the new regulations. The health department hoped to have the same for restaurants, but likely won't in time for Wednesday. As a result, Jolin said SJBPH will allow restaurants to reopen Wednesday under a, quote, grace period until the health department can create the self-certification process. Quote, "We know businesses are anxious to get back to work," she said. David Woodruff, president of the Colorado Restaurant Association's Durango chapter and manager of El Moro Spirits and Tavern, also said the short time frame might make it hard for restaurants to reopen Wednesday. But he said after more than 2 months of being shut down, Monday's announcement was good news. "It puts everyone in a pickle to have to make these decisions on the fly," he said, "but hey, at least we're able to reopen." The question that looms for most restaurant owners is whether the state's regulations make reopening cost prohibitive. That's for each business to decide, he said. Hopefully they see if 50% can work. For a lot, it won't work, but it will for some. Woodruff said that the regulations have some give and take. The state reduced from 8 feet to 6 feet the space between tables, which was a win, he said, but the cap at 50% capacity or 50 people was a setback. Quote, "I hope that everyone that's able to can open," he said. Calls to several restaurants were not returned on Monday, but many other businesses were closed for the Memorial Day holiday. Gabriel Harrington, assistant manager at Birds, said the restaurant plans to reopen Wednesday, but with an emphasis on outside dining. Quote, "We're just trying to make it super casual and fun," he said. As part of Polis's announcement, bars will remain closed and reevaluated later in June. Children's Day camps and youth sport camps can reopen June 1st, and private campsites can reopen. Also, Polis said ski areas may reopen with approval from local authorities. Dave Rathbun, general manager of Purgatory Resort, said he hopes to open for the summer season on June 20th. Quote, "I was shocked the governor actually announced it during the day instead of 10:30 at night," he said. So we'll take a look at it, those new guidelines. And now let's take a look at our local weather for the week. Today, sunny with a high near 76 degrees with west-southwest winds at light at 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming northwest in the afternoon. Tonight, mostly clear and a low around 49 degrees with northwest winds at 5 to 10 miles an hour. Then Wednesday, sunny with a high near 83 degrees, northeast winds at 5 to 15 miles an hour. Wednesday night, mostly clear and a low around 52 with north-northwest winds 5 to 10 miles an hour and gusts as high as 20. For Thursday, we're looking for another hot sunny day with a high near 85 degrees. Northeast winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, and the winds could gust to 20 miles an hour. Thursday night, mostly clear and a low around 54. For Friday, sunny and a high near 86. Here we go. It's warming up this week. Friday night, partly cloudy and a low around 57 degrees. For Saturday, mostly sunny and a high near 86. Saturday night, there is a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms coming in before midnight, mostly cloudy and a low around 56 on the overnight. And for sunny Sunday, it'll be partly sunny and a high near 84 degrees with Sunday night mostly cloudy and a low around 55. And now back to the news. From the Journal, gun sales in Colorado are up more than 80% in April compared to the same time last year, indicating that the COVID-19 pandemic has sparked a run on firearms. The Colorado Bureau of Investigation approved 97,762 firearm background checks in March and April combined, a sales volume seen only one other time in Colorado after the Newton school shooting. The FBI reports that March was the busiest single month ever for gun background checks nationwide. "We've been very busy," said Matt Sebasta with the Family Shooting Center at Cherry Creek State Park. "Classes are huge and private lessons are up, so the majority of folks are seeking training. Background check turnaround times have jumped from 8 minutes in February to more than 3 hours on average." That according to CBI. The longest checks are taking up to 5 days. Federal law allows dealers to release the firearm if the check hasn't been completed within 3 days. CBI has urged dealers to not do that. The surge in gun interest has led to an even larger increase in background check denials, up 200% since February. There were 1,952 denials in April for a range of convictions and arrests. Assault and dangerous drugs are the two most common reasons. "There are a ton of folks that have no idea how it works or think it might be expunged," said Sebesta. "There are so many that think since they have a felony that was non-violent that it's still okay, and it's not." Colorado lawmakers to return Tuesday to tackle $3.3 billion budget hole. This reported from the Journal. No public health insurance option, drastic cuts to K-12 and higher education funding, seniors losing tax breaks on their homes. These are a few of the dozen of sacrifices, in quotes, Colorado's Democrat-led legislature must make when it returns to work Tuesday after a March 14th suspension prompted by the coronavirus. They're going back to work. Economic fallout from the pandemic is forcing a 25% cut in next year's general fund spending, with virtually every revenue source, from sales and income taxes to tourism spending and oil and gas extraction fees paid by the energy industry, all in freefall decline. The top priority is passing a balanced budget for the fiscal year that begins July 1st. And in doing so, Democratic Governor Jared Polis's ambitions to deliver universally available health care and reduce its costs will be tempered. In marathon sessions over the past 3 weeks, the Bipartisan Joint Budget Committee crafted a spending plan that trims $3.2 billion from the $13 billion discretionary fund. It will first be taken up by the House, where Democrats have a comfortable majority. Funding for full-day kindergarten, a top Polis priority, is safe for now, but budget writers suggested more than $720 million in cuts to K-12 schools and more than $490 million in cuts for higher education. Committee members excised funds from countless other programs, ranging from tourism promotion to the Corrections Department, to deliver their recommendations. The panel, for now, spared $60 million for a state reinsurance program designed to lower premiums on the individual health insurance market. Plans to consider a state public health insurance alternative are being dropped as is a paid family leave bill. Suspending the senior tax break will deliver $164 million out of the pockets of seniors, and suspending contributions to the state pension plan, another $225 million. Minority Republicans return seething at Polis's allocation last week of most of the $1.7 billion Colorado received in the emergency federal funding to fight the coronavirus without consulting their leadership. They argue the Constitution gives lawmakers authority over spending. At the Capitol, Republicans vow to fight for education funding, keep the property tax breaks for seniors, challenge Polis's authority over emergency spending, and promote the immediate reopening of the economy. Polis has cited a disaster declaration approved by President Donald Trump in issuing a series of executive orders to combat the pandemic, including the federal aid allocations. In a recent statement, Senate Republicans said Polis adopted a stay-at-home order followed by a gradual loosening of restrictions without sufficient justification. Polis has reviewed epidemiological science behind the administration's strategy in his frequent public briefings. A Capitol building normally crowded with 100 lawmakers, legislative staff, witnesses at hearings, dozens of lobbyists, journalists, and public visitors will look different this week. All visitors will be temperature screened. Lawmakers are encouraging more remote or written testimony at committee hearings. Seating in the House and Senate chambers will adopt social distancing and other protections. Some lawmakers with pre-existing medical conditions are expected to participate remotely. Lobbyists will contact legislators by text, email, and phone. And here in Dolores County, the courthouse is now not open to the public, but the public can make appointments and do business by phone. But there are more of the actual people working back in the courthouse this week. And from the Center Square, the country's largest ticketed beer festival has canceled its in-person event this year, instead opting for an, quote, immersive online experience. That's because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Great American Beer Festival, typically held at the Colorado Convention Center in Denver, was originally scheduled for September 24th through the 26th, but will instead offer live stream experiences from October 16th to the 17th, the Brewers Association said. The event, quote, is still in planning, but experiences will likely include beer tastings, conversations with brewers, local brewery activations, and at-home beer and food pairing deliveries, and beer competition, the trade group said. Brewbound reported that last year's festival brought in $35.3 million for Denver's economy, according to the city's tourism bureau. It welcomed 60,000 attendees, 800 breweries, and featured 4,000 beers in 2019. The Brewers Association said its decision came after Governor Jared Polis signed an executive order on Wednesday last week for alternative healthcare sites to be prepared in case of a COVID-19 surge. In the event that a COVID-19 infection surge threatens to overwhelm our healthcare resources, the state may activate alternate care sites, or ACS, to increase hospitals' capacity to provide care to COVID-19 patients, the order said. The Colorado Convention Center and the Ranch Larimer County Fairgrounds and Events Complex, the Ranch, are listed as locations allowed to operate as alternative care sites under Polis's order. While we are disappointed to not be gathering in Denver this fall for the craft beer community's annual Big Tent event, the health and safety of our attendees, brewers, volunteers, judges, and employees is and always has been our top priority, Brewers Association President and CEO Bob Pease said. Quote, as the world is still greatly affected by the spread of COVID-19 and will continue to be affected for the foreseeable future, we must stay true to our priorities and pursue other ways to host GABF. And a note to make sure the community understands here in Dove Creek that the pick and hoe will not go on like it has in the past. That's no reason to throw everything out and cancel our Independence Day and community celebration. We just have to think around and outside of the box for safety's sake, as they say. Current plans have been in place for just enjoying a main drag. There might be music played on an FM local channel to play music you can hear on your radio, to tune in your car and make dedications and announcements via texting or on an app. And that would be in place of an actual dance. That would be a virtual sock hop, digital age style, with family groups able to stay at home or in their areas and share an experience virtually. The parade on Saturday may not be on the highway, or it could be if social group distancing and safe activities among families and groups could be the course. It would be all up to you, the public, to maintain the distancing so as not to shut things down further and remain in accordance with keeping public health a primary goal. There is a band that will play No matter what, we're paying them because they have been out of work for quite a while now. There may be options for distance small group seating, as well as sharing their performance over a live stream and or the local radio broadcast, which would be then followed by the fireworks. Again, the fire department is planning for that, and people may be able to be in small distance groups watching from their car or their home. This is a locals only year. We do not want to share this personal pick and hoe with the greater area due to the current status of COVID-19. There will not be any of the games or the tournaments, no pig chase, no tournaments this year. But there will be something, hopefully, unless we are shut down. And if you do have an idea for something the community would like to participate in that is of a more virtual nature online, please step up and share it. And if the state does come down hard on the county and towns of Southwest Colorado, the entire concept may be shut down and canceled. As we hear more from the state and the agencies in our community, I will report it here to DCTV. Right now, the governor is commanding us to not be in more than groups of 10, which might go to more than groups of 20, and that is certainly maybe one family. I post up the links and shared info on our Facebook page, which is DCTV Daily News, where you can also watch the program replay along with news links and stories of local interest. And you too can share other events or news there and join in on the conversation. Again, this is your local community TV station, so if you have something that you would like to share, contact us. The email is dcbnnews@gmail.com or call the station 970-677-4119. Don't we all just want to hope for the best and expect the worst, or do we want to plan for the best and plan for the worst and then make that decision as the time gets near? Thank you for tuning in to DCTV Daily News. Programs are broadcast Monday through Friday with replays online on our YouTube channel or on DCTV Daily News page on Facebook. And if you do like the program, please like and follow us on Facebook and share it with your friends and family. This has been a production of DCTV for the DCTV Daily News program out of Dove Creek, Colorado, USA. I'm Kendra Cook. Again, thank you for watching.